Good morning. Academia BSB here, and today is June 15th, 2025. Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello, we're Paulo and Mariana, teachers here, and today we're diving into some class notes.
That's right. We're looking at the English Conversations course material from Ireli and Sophia. They're, brilliant pre-med students aiming high-top Brazilian universities or even the Ivy League.
Mm-hmm. And this course, it's designed to build that real-world communication skill, not just textbook grammar.
Exactly. Skills you actually need.
And we're framing this within the CEFRL B1 level. B1 means you're becoming an independent user. You can get the main points, talk about familiar stuff, describe experiences, give reasons.
So looking at these notes helps solidify those B1 skills, right? And push beyond.
Precisely.
So the theme for today's class notes, we called it Blushing to Brilliance, Social Slip-Ups and Stellar English.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because dealing with awkward moments, embarrassing situations, it's universal.
It really is. And it's a great way to learn some key language.
Yeah, the notes cover adjectives and adverbs, plus things like present perfect, ever, never, neither, nor, really useful grammar.
Our mission, then, to break down these notes, find the really important bits, and show you how this language helps you feel, well, more confident, fluent, especially in new places, like university. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we have this stack of notes from Ireli and Sophia's class. Reading, vocab, grammar. Where to start? How about that reading text, the one called Chores Are. Good.
Ah, yes. That one often sparks some debate. It talks about the benefits of kids doing chores.
Right. Let me read it. I'll try to sound enthusiastic about cleaning. Reads text with energy. Kids, please don't shoot the messenger. Those chores your parents have you do around the house may actually be quite good for you. According to research conducted at the City University, kids who are responsible for taking out the trash, mowing the lawn, keeping their rooms tidy, and other tasks to help around the house turn out to be well-adjusted adults. That means, according to researchers, that chores are instrumental in helping kids learn how to complete an assigned job. They also help teach organizational skills, discipline, cooperation, and social responsibility. Kids with chores are less likely to get involved with drugs and alcohol, too. According to the Minnesota study, the best predictor of young adult success in their mid-20s is that they participated in household tasks, starting as young as 3 years old. By contrast, the study found that those kids who weren't given chores by their parents on a regular basis turned out to be, well, a little bratty. So while you may not be happy about washing those dishes now, you'll probably thank your parents later.
From a psychological view, it makes sense. Discipline, responsibility, organization. The text links these to chores, citing those studies. And sociologically, you could say it's early socialization. Learning your role, contributing, fulfilling expectations. It's about the group, the family unit.
Okay.
And learning to finish a task. That definitely connects to later success, academic or work success. That Minnesota study point is quite strong.
I hear you, but as someone who values, let's say, style and creativity, I wonder, does all this tidiness and task following maybe stifle creativity? What about unstructured playtime? Thinking outside the box? Are we just creating neat, conforming people? Doctors need discipline, sure, but they also need to be innovative, right? Not just well-organized.
That's a fair point. It's probably not so black and white, is it? Maybe the structure from chores actually frees you up later.
Yeah, so.
Well, if you learn to manage tasks, you learn to manage your time. That structure could actually give you more space for creativity, not less. It's about balance, I think. Structure enabling freedom.
Okay, structure enabling freedom. I can work with that. So why this text? Well, because discussing different views, forming your own opinion, and saying it in English, that's a key skill for university, right?
Okay. Whether you agree with the studies or not, talking about it is the point. Okay, let's switch gears. Look at the vocabulary from the current class notes. These words are great for talking about feelings, especially in awkward situations.
Right. The list has rude, impolite, to be fed up, feeling sick, in bad mood, tired, excuse, reason, answer, waiter, shy, confident, sociable.
Okay, so rude and impolite. They both mean lacking respect, basically. Synonyms could be discourteous or ill-mannered. Gives you options.
And fed up. That's when you just had enough of something, right? Really annoyed or tired of it. Like you're exasperated.
Then feeling sick, that's physical, your body feels bad. But in a bad mood, that's emotional. Irritable, grumpy, testy, different things.
An excuse, reason, answer. These can be tricky. An excuse might be trying to justify something. maybe not the whole truth.
Yeah, could be. While a reason is the genuine explanation, and an answer is just a response to a question. Using the right one helps avoid confusion, especially if you're explaining, well, an embarrassing moment.
Definitely.
That.
Wait and waiter, simple but useful in places like restaurants. Wait means pause. Waiter, you're the person serving you.
And then the social ones. Shy, confident, sociable. Shy is nervous with people, maybe reserved or timid.
Confident is feeling sure of yourself, assured, self-possessed.
And sociable is friendly, enjoying company, outgoing or gregarious.
See? These words let you describe people and feelings with more precision. Helps you talk about those awkward social moments better.
Exactly. Precision is key. Now, from words to phrases, the notes have some great expressions. These really make your English sound more natural.
First up, I can't get the hang of it. Perfect for when you're learning something new and it's just difficult.
Like figuring out some complex medical procedure maybe, or even just new software.
Yeah. The example is Lisa and the guitar.
Yeah.
In Portuguese, it's like, não pego o jeito disso.
Exactly. Não pego o jeito disso. Then, no matter what. This shows real determination. Like, I'll pass this exam no matter what.
For Maria and Sofia, I'll get into that university no matter what.
Yeah.
In Portuguese, custe o que custar, or de qualquer jeito.
Perfect. Custe o que custar. To hit a wall. That's when you're making progress and suddenly stop. Blocked.
Like when you're studying and just can't absorb any more information.
Precisely. Anna hit a wall studying. In Portuguese, bater no muro. Or maybe travar.
Travar, yeah. Back to square one. Ugh, the worst. When you fail and have to start all over again.
Like John fixing his computer and it still didn't work. Back to square one. Voltar a estaca zero in Portuguese.
Voltar a estaca zero. And finally, at the end of the day, you use this to give the main point, the conclusion, the most important factor.
Right. Like Maria choosing her job at the end of the day, this was the reason. No fin das contas. Or en última análise.
No fin das contas. Using these expressions, it's not just slang, is it? It makes your English flow better, more colorful.
It really does. They pack a lot of meaning into a short phrase. Very efficient for communication.
So many useful phrases. Okay, let's take a quick pause. We'll be right back to dive into more of these notes after a short break.
Welcome back. So far, we've debated chores, unpacked some key vocab for feelings, and learned 5 really useful English expressions.
And now, for a little fun, a tongue twister, using some terms we've discussed. Shy, sociable Sophie sat silently, seeing citizens speak sociably.
Chuckles. Nicely done. Okay, let's keep digging into these notes. What's next on the list? How about we tackle some grammar?
Sounds good. Grammar time. The notes focus on present perfect, ever, never, neither, nor. And underlying it all, adjectives and adverbs.
Right. Adjectives and adverbs first, quickly. Adjectives describe nouns, things, people, places, like feeling shy. Shy is the adjective.
And adverbs. They describe verbs, adjectives, other adverbs.
Yeah.
They tell us how, when, where. Like speaking slowly is the adverb.
Building your range of these helps you paint a much clearer picture. Very important for describing complex situations or feelings.
Okay, present perfect. The form is have or has, plus the past participle. Like, I have finished.
And its uses. Really important for you, Miraili and Sophia. It's for life experiences, things that started in the past and are still true, or past actions with a result now.
Which is exactly what you talk about in university applications or interviews, right? Your experiences, what you've done.
Precisely. Like, I have volunteered at the hospital for 2 years, still happening, or the experience is relevant now, or she has completed the research project, done, but the result matters now.
And ever. That's for asking about experiences at any time in the past. Have you ever felt totally embarrassed giving a presentation?
Let's hope not too often. And never is the negative. I have never forgotten my lines on stage. Means it hasn't happened at any point.
A common slip-up is mixing this with simple past, right? Simple past needs a specific time. I felt embarrassed yesterday.
Exactly. Present perfect is about the experience itself, the ever or never. I have felt embarrassed before. Time unspecified.
Got it. Now, neither and nor. These are, well, quite elegant ways to agree with someone's negative statement.
They are. If someone says, I don't really like networking events, and you agree, you can say, neither do I.
Or, he hasn't finished the assignment yet, and maybe your partner hasn't either. Nor has she. Simple, concise agreement.
It avoids just saying me too to a negative, which isn't quite right. These make your English sound more sophisticated.
So it definitely helps you sound more fluent.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of fluency, let's look at the language usage section. Specific phrases for conversation.
Right, these are the nuts and bolts of chatting. Things like, it is difficult for me to grasp, or the expression we saw, I can't get a hang of it. Useful when something is confusing.
Let's try it. Explain. Quantum
Yeah.
physics.
Briefly.
Laughs. Okay, well, basically, at the quantum level, particles can exist in multiple states at once until observed, a concept called superposition.
Whoa, stop. It is difficult for me to grasp that. Honestly, I can't get a hang of superposition just like that.
Smiling. See?
Yeah.
Perfect usage. You showed you were struggling to understand. Then there are the simple everyday questions. Small talk, really. What is the weather like? Have you seen that new series on TV?
Practical things, too. Where did you park your car? How did you get here? By bus? These are essential for, just interacting day to day.
And the answer is, I got here by car. Simple, direct.
The notes also mention cultural things like Sweet 16 party, that big birthday bash in the U.S.
And idioms like let you down, meaning disappoint.
Mm.
And our theme, to feel embarrassed.
Plus useful social terms, icebreakers activities to start conversations, chit-chat, just light, casual talk, and slang like $10 for $10.
Using these makes your conversation sound much more natural, doesn't it? You fit in better.
Definitely practice using them. Okay, pronunciation was also covered, drawing from past and current lessons.
Yeah, past vocabulary included. Versatile, certainly, trendy, straight, leg, silhouette, timeless, jewelry, fuel. The focus here is just making sure those sounds are clear. Maybe the stored in straight or the J in jewelry.
And current pronunciation words, messenger, research conducted, adults, law, lawn, tree, three, where, assigned, skill, success. Some tricky sounds here for Portuguese speakers, right?
Oh, absolutely. The classic tree versus three, that the tongue between the teeth, three, not tea-free. It takes practice.
And were versus where often sound the same. Context is key. W-E-R-E versus W-H-E-R-E, not like W-E-A-R.
Good point. And law, lawn. That final in sound on lawn is important. Law, lawn.
The notes suggest practicing by saying the word, using it in a sentence, then saying it again. Let's try a few quickly.
Messenger. We used a bike messenger.
Research. The research is groundbreaking.
Research. The orchestra was conducted well.
Adults. This movie is for adults.
Adults.
We must obey the law.
Lawn. Please keep off the lawn.
Yeah.
That's a very old tree. Tree?
Three. I need 3 volunteers. 3.
Sure, they were late. Where
There.
did you go? Where?
Assigned. We were assigned group work. Assigned.
Skill. Language learning is a skill.
Success. We wish you success.
Success.
Great. Practicing them in context like that really helps lock them in.
Okay, that's a lot of ground covered. Time for our second break. When we come back, we'll look at reinforcing vocabulary, writing, and more. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've hit grammar like the present perfect, practiced conversational phrases, and tackled some pronunciation.
And now another tongue twister, mixing old and new words. Trendy teachers talked tirelessly, taking time to teach timeless terms.
You're getting good at those.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick up with vocabulary again, this time focusing on the past class vocabulary section in the notes.
Right. The words were versatile, certainly, trendy, straight, leg, silhouette, timeless, jewelry, fuel. The goal mentioned was solving activities related to them.
Since we don't have the exact activities, let's imagine one. How about this? Describe a classic fashion item using 3 of these words. Your turn, fashion critic.
Ooh, okay. Let's take the little black dress. It's certainly timeless. Its versatile silhouette means you can wear it almost anywhere. And you can change the look completely with different jewelry. How's that?
Perfect. You use certainly, timeless, versatile, silhouette, and jewelry. See how reusing vocabulary makes it stick. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Now let's look at the writing section. This exercise was about applying everything.
Right. The task was to write about feeling embarrassed in 2 situations, a new place and an unwanted conversation using specific grammar and expressions learned.
So let's picture a student's first try. A B1 level draft might be something like, arriving new place, I feel strange. I am shy. People talk. I don't know what would say. It is difficult for me to grasp this. Also, when person talks too much, I am tired. I want to escape.
Okay, the feeling comes across, but it needs polish. Teacher feedback might be, good start, you got the main ideas, let's refine it. Try, when I arrive at a new place. Instead of strange, maybe awkward or uncomfortable, you used shy. Good, I don't know what to say. You used, it is difficult for me to grasp. Excellent. For the second part, when a person talks too much, use, I feel tired or I get tired. I want to escape. Maybe add an expression, like no matter what, I try to be polite.
Good feedback. So applying that, a final version for the school blog students.AcademiaBSB.com.br blog could sound more like this. When I arrive at a new place where I don't know anyone, I often feel quite awkward and shy. It's difficult for me to grasp the social cues immediately, so I might not say much at first. Another embarrassing situation is getting stuck in an unwanted conversation. When a person talks too much and doesn't seem to notice I'm not engaged, I start to feel really tired and just want to escape politely. No matter what, I try to handle these moments gracefully, even if I'm blushing inside.
Much better. Smoother, more natural, uses the target language. Writing really helps consolidate learning, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It forces you to think about structure and word choice. Okay, the notes also mention speaking practice, using a specific text.
Ah, yes. Puberty, growth, and a life lesson. Reading this aloud focuses on fluency and pronunciation, especially the capitalized words, which likely highlight target sounds. Let's read it.
Reads text clearly. During puberty, many teenagers feel confused about where they are going or what they should do, as if a messenger of worries visits their mind every day. But a recent research conducted by teachers showed that when students focus on building one skill at a time, they feel more confident and calm. Some activities were assigned to them, like planting a tree or cutting the lawn at school, to teach patience and care. The students were happy to learn that even adults have doubts but can reach success when they try hard. In the research, 3 important things were clear: respecting the law, helping others, and growing slowly like a tree. The teens felt that these tasks made them relaxed and more focused on their goals. They understood that their feelings were normal and that growing up is a journey, not a race, and that every small skill they master is a step towards success.
Great reading. And focusing on those capitalized words where lawn, tree 3 really drills those specific sounds we talked about earlier.
Hearing the difference, practicing it aloud, it builds muscle memory for your mouth.
And communication isn't just output right. The notes rightly included listening and watching.
Crucial. The listening section mentioned an audio file. You have to practice understanding real spoken English podcasts, news, conversations. It's half the battle. You need to understand native speed, accents, everything.
And watching movies, series, news in English, it adds so much more. You get the visual cues, the body language, the cultural context. You see how people really use the language in situations.
It makes the language come alive, doesn't it? Helps you internalize the rhythm and flow, making you feel more comfortable when you encounter similar situations yourself.
All these pieces, vocab, grammar, pronunciation, reading, writing, listening, watching, they all fit together to build fluency.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach. Looking at these notes for Riley and Sophia, you can see they're actively working on all these areas. They're tackling complex ideas like expressing feelings in awkward situations, using sophisticated grammar like the present perfect, and refining their pronunciation.
Yeah, the dedication shows they're engaging with the material, which is exactly what you need to move forward, especially aiming for those top universities.
It really demonstrates the kind of commitment needed at the B1 level and beyond. They're building a strong foundation.
Absolutely. And speaking of building, just a fun little reminder, these deep dives are great for understanding, but the real magic happens when you do the homework. Our Academia BSB method isn't psychic, it's practice. So keep up with those assignments.
Chuckles. Well put. All this talk about social situations, embarrassment, communication, it links to broader ideas about how we interact, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes me think about, that sociologist Irving Goffman and his book, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life.
Oh, a classic. Goffman wrote that back in the mid-20th century. His big idea was comparing social life to, a theater performance.
Right. We're all actors, putting on a front for different audiences, managing impressions.
And embarrassment, in his view, is what happens when the performance fails. When your front slips and the illusion breaks. He talked about face work, all the things we do to save face, our own or others, after a slip-up.
Keeping the social interaction going smoothly, even after someone blushes.
Exactly. It's all about managing that presentation of self.
So learning English, especially for high-stakes situations like university or a career.
Yeah.
It's like getting a whole new script, new costumes, a new stage to perform on.
That's a brilliant way to think about it. Which leads to a final thought for you, our listeners, Riley and Sophia included. If social life is a performance, how does learning English change your script? What new kinds of potential embarrassing situations arise on this new stage? And how does mastering the language itself give you the tools for brilliant face work, turning those blushing moments into opportunities to shine?
Something to ponder as you continue mastering communication. Because remember, here at Academia BSB, host speaker, expert speaker.
Oh,
It is not only about the language, it is all about communication.
thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
Keep practicing, keep exploring, and we'll talk to you next time.